What's up YouTube, Vampyr Gaming here, and today I'm gonna play some more of Buried. I haven't played this in a while actually, so if you haven't watched the first video, go ahead and check that out. At the end of this video, if you just want to go ahead and watch this video anyways, I'll put it at the end of this video so you guys can click on it. So we just ended chapter 1. I don't even remember what happened, truthfully, but we went in a complex, some alien stuff happened, Dennis, some other stuff. Respect the dead. You and 36% of players left Tony's body where you found it. Secrets. You and 76% of players were upfront with Dennis about Tony's death. Trust. You and 55% told Dennis you believed his story. Curiosity. You and 75% of players went to investigate the ringing sound. Teamwork. You and 36% of players decided to leave Dennis behind. Oh yeah, I left him behind. I wonder if he's dead. Oh god, this music is spooky. We're standing on the thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used, but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they are running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying. But there's a small light further ahead and then a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform. Maybe. This understanding comes with a very strong sense of trespassing. I'm definitely not supposed to be here. Hello? Anybody here? I don't know. Yes! We're loudmouths. Hello? Anybody here? My voice blasts through the tunnel, but nothing replies other than my own echo. The reality of what I am seeing is sinking in. Whatever this place is, it reaches way underground. That seems impossible to me, making anything that's on the other side of this tunnel dangerous as far as I'm concerned. But of course I'm going to go on. Of course! Human curiosity is going to see to that. Also, the ringing noise is louder down here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound. Something like the faint hum of machinery. I can go either left or right. The left is slightly lit, the right not so much. This makes me uneasy because I get a sense that one wrong turn in a place like this and I'd be wandering for hours. Looking each way, I jerk my head right as I feel the unmistakable sound of someone walking. Footsteps. Did I really hear something? I wonder as my eyes strain to see anything. I wait a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are my options. The left are flickering lights indicating that I'll at least be able to see. There's also a hum of machinery and a sign of life. To the right is the darkness. It's just darkness, but I also heard footsteps in that direction. I'm gonna go right. Oedipus ain't no bitch. You decided to head right into the darkness. If anyone's here, they're worth speaking to. Right it is. As I leave the glow of electric lights, things feel bad. A bit more sinister. Also, the tunnel or hallway, or whatever it is, seems to widen up ahead. I wonder how Dennis is doing back at the logging site. I wince, remembering the blood around his side. The darkness I find myself in feels thick, like walking in syrup. It reminds me of the fear I felt as a child when I had to go in the basement to fetch tools for my dad. That's a really good analogy. I was sure there were snakes or spiders or monsters or unimaginable horrors lurking down there. I feel that same way here, walking through the tunnel. That's when I see it, a human figure far back in the tunnel, silhouetted in the faint light at the end. He's standing on some other platform and likely can't see me. It looks like he might be holding a gun. It's way too dark to be sure. Hey, who's there? Stay quiet. If I sneak up, I wonder if he'll shoot me. I'm gonna stay quiet. This person might be dangerous. I do my best not to move. I watch as the figures back and forth down the tunnel. It's unclear if he's looking for something or is just as lost as I am. But he cannot see me in the dark, and after a moment the figure rushes away through a door. Just as well, I don't want to reveal myself to anyone until I know about where I am. Making money moves. Trying not to die moves. As I head further into the tunnel, I reach another platform. I'm looking and trying to process where I am now when I suddenly hear the rapid footfalls of someone running towards me. They're sprinting this way from the dark side of the tunnel and fast. I cannot see anything, but their footsteps echo towards me. After seeing that person with the gun a moment ago, I'm not sure if it's this person is armed as well. I realize I only have a few seconds before they'll be on top of me. Stand out in the open. I'm right here! I figured I might as well greet them with a little like a civilized human being. There would be a chance of getting answers that way. I step down into the light as they get closer and closer, and when they step into the glow of the platform, I cannot believe my eyes. Dennis, my boy, Dennis! What in the hell are you doing down here? I left you at the login site. He stopped running and stares at me, dumbfounded. Oh my God, Roger, it's you. I'm so glad to see you in this godforsaken tunnel. How did you get down here? I asked. And why are you down here? He didn't seem fit to move. He bends his arm and puts his hand on his knees, breathing heavily. I can see that the gash on his side is inflamed now. It's not safe up there, he says, as though that explains everything. I started running to get away and ended up here. Why isn't it safe? Get away from what? Oh man, I want the answer to both of these. Why isn't it safe? Get away from what? Get away from what? Why isn't it safe? It just isn't. That's what I was gonna say. I was waiting for you. When we last spoke, and I heard something in the woods. At first, I thought it was a car radio, some crackling static, but it was much louder, like some kind of demon. It got louder and louder and freaked me out. I just started running. I fell into some kind of sinkhole. That damp ground just fell out from under me. I ended up in this weird hallway that led me to this tunnel. He pauses as if evaluating whether what he said is crazy or not. Well, you're here now, and honestly, I'm glad to see you, I say. Why do you say we check out the platform and see if we can get some answers? There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they're dim, red emergency lights. I start to wonder if this explosion at the lodging site caused a power outage in this place, whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it's some sort of alarm. When we come to the large open area in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled into some kind of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forest of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we have walked into. I notice that Dennis seems calm and confident, though. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails and then hop on the small utility ladder that is bolted into the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large open area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heavily heaving breath. You know what? Dennis says, exasperated. This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. Nope. On top of the worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. It's okay, Dennis. Take it easy. You can do this. Get up, Dennis. Pull it together. Dennis. It's okay. I'm not the one with the gash in my side, I think to myself, so I decided to cut him some slack. Damn, boss. I'm sorry, he says. It's okay, I say. I don't know how you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, he says with a weak laugh. You need a minute's rest, I ask, as warmly as I can muster. No, if I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not get back up. Let's keep going while I can still go. I reach down, help him to his feet, and then we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us, there's an entrance to a long hallway, exiting the platform area. It's at this point that I realize these red emergency lights might be on for someone else who's actually supposed to be here. Like that guy I saw earlier standing on the platform. I'ma yell out. Yo, no, I'ma stay quiet. I'ma get shot. I want to see if we can get shot. I'm still not sure if this place... I'm not sure if I want to alarm anyone to the fact that there are strangers in this secret place. And the thought of hearing a scream, even my own scream in this dingy place, is too much to bear. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting a sick, sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be a secret, and if it's supposed to be secret and there was a power outage recently, maybe most everyone has been evacuated. But then, why was that one person still here? This thought does not exactly make me feel any better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside, and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through, weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming into... It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming to in the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls, and the floor looks well cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That noise is an alarm, I say? If only to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks. And then he asks the question that has been on my mind since I found the little building in the woods. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clicking noise and then an unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. Without warning, the facility jolts to life. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced by white fluorescent ones. That mechanical hum is oddly comforting. Somehow, the power being back on urges us on. It's then that I notice the ringing noise has stopped. So it had been an alarm, but for what? Just the power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the lights sounding eerie overhead. Other than that, the place is rather dead. The place is dead quiet. The hall is about 100 feet long, with two main doors. One door opened onto a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and papers strewn out. Across the hallway, another door looks like the laboratory of some sorts. Dennis slumps against the wall in defeat and lets out a scary sounding chuckle. Something funny, I ask, as a dark and brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling as he slides down the floor. I'm just gonna sit here while you look around, he says. There's a look in his eyes that reminded me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. Enter the lab or enter the We're definitely entering the lab. Yzma's lab. Walking inside, I see small vials and glass containers held in the clear glass case. Everything is either glass or silver, and I instantly feel like I am dirtying the place up. I notice several test tubes and glass cases, as well as some sort of tube system that seems to have a clear fluid trapped inside of it. What kind of stuff you testing in here, guys? In the back corner, I find a laptop in screensaver mode. Let's look at the laptop. hit the enter key and a plain gray background pops up. There are several icons and folders to choose from. I click on the folder labeled Test 1.5 Ethos. A few documents are filled with formulas and names I mostly don't understand, but there's one thing that are easy to determine, things that make my blood go cold. Subject number 6, cause of death, embolism or aneurysm, or both. Ideals for new delivery modes, spherical, liquid, induced comatose state first, TerraCore Co. Possible plutonium supplier. Look at the test tubes. Let's learn as much as we can. I can't help but check out the test tubes. They're all filled with varying green and light blue fluids. One of them looks to have some sort of glowing dirt residing in the bottom of it. Another holds what looks like a grasshopper submerged in liquid. Only it's the strangest grasshopper I've ever seen. At first, it looks like it's expanding and contracting like a blowfish. Then it contracts so much that it vanishes completely. As I look closer, it springs back into existence in a completely different test tube, and I'm embarrassed when I actually jump back. I take another look around the tube, trying to piece together what might have been taking place here. I smell some sort of chemical in the air, and it makes me think that someone has used this lab recently. Outside in the hallway, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out the room to see him still seated on the floor, but I don't get very far because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. Let's get shot! Scrap! It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man carrying it is young with messy dark hair. His skin is so pale that I wonder if maybe he lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I'd trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It is aimed directly at my head. Dennis jumps up and stands next to me, like he's ready to run for it. I recognize him by his height and build. He's the person I could barely see in the back. In that dark tunnel. Do I attack him, or do I act like I'm... I don't know. Let's be nice. Put hands in the air. I don't believe in violence. I put my hands in the air, surprised at how natural it feels to go into this surrendered state. That's wrong. Maybe it's because it feels like a dream. Maybe it's because I feel like I'll snap awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. I recognize you. You stomped around and set off the security mics in the entrance. What? I ask, unable to think of anything else to say. Who are you? The man asks. Did you do this? The man eyes us both, and I see something in his eye that unsettles me. He is scared, but there is something else. We're nobody, don't cheat us. We're just loggers. His eyes look distant for a minute, and then he says, bullshit! But for some reason, I'm pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out, the man says. It's back on now, but if it was out long enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you? Who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened out in the woods. Are you alone? Are there others with you? The armed man asks, thrusting the gun in my face. How the hell did we get into this situation? I think to myself, if I only had left that damn ringing noise alone, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure if we want to give this guy information yet. We don't know anything about him. Then again, he might have answers. No, just us. The man looks up and down, trying to tell if I'm lying. What happened before you came here, he asks. No clue. I opened my eyes on the ground and don't remember anything. The last thing I remember was fueling up my power saw, and then I was on my ass, and we could hear the alarm from where we were. And then there was a flash of white light, Dennis adds, like a bubble coming up out of the ground. But how'd you get in here, the man asks. I pointed down the hall towards the subway. We came in that way, and the doors weren't locked. His expression calms a bit, but I am still very aware of the gun that is leveled less than a foot away from my face. Please put the gun down. Now, do I be a savage? Can I, take the gun and shoot this guy? Alright. I don't believe in violence, guys, but we're grabbing his gun. You decided to try to steal the man's gun. You look like you might laugh at any request. And it is this arrogance that makes me crack, and once again rely on my instincts. I reach out quickly, slapping the gun barrel away, then I reach for it and nearly have a grip on it when the man jerks to the left. My ballsy move startles him, but not nearly enough. He brings the other rifle down like a javelin and cracks me right on the side of the head. The blow knocks off my hard hat and sends it skidding across the floor. With a flare of pain in my head, I manage to stay on one knee. I then raise my hand quickly and surrender, letting him know that I am aware that I have made a grievous error. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, and I can only assume it's because his wound makes him appear to be the weaker one of us. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel and the gun, his eyes pleading for help. Step between Dennis and the gun. Hell yeah, Dennis is my boy. You step between the gun and Dennis. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out in front of Dennis. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action. I do my best to swallow down my fear. I don't know what's going on here, I say. But we are here by mistake. Well, you have no business here, the man says, but now that the power is on, I think you might be too late anyway. For what? But he doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me with the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before, one that makes no sense and honestly makes me think he's a little crazy. Who sent you? He asks. You assholes from the Pentagon? I'm not quite sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? Yeah, I'm the president. Yeah, I'm the president. The armed man looks as if someone slapped him. You think I'm playing? He asks. Jab me with the barrel of the gun. You think I won't blow your head off? Still, his grip on the gun is as tight as ever. The look on his face makes me think he'll shoot at any moment. You both just stand still. Sooner or later someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He thrusts the gun forward as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantee that he won't pull the trigger. Look, Dennis says, we don't want any trouble. We're just as confused as you are. Then, in a movement so fast, I just about missed it. Dennis lunges forward. I have no idea how he's moving so fast. Just 30 seconds ago, I was worried about how close to Daddy looked. Now he's moving lightning fast, his left arm coming down on the barrel of the gun like a club. In all the commotion, the man does pull the trigger. The booming noise is deafening, and there's a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes the clanging noise of the round tearing into the floor at my feet to help me realize that I've not been shot. I look to the floor and see where the shot missed my right leg by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed and shocked for a moment as Dennis and the man fight over possession of the rifle. There's a fire extinguisher in the wall and I could use it as a bludgeon, but it might not be enough time for me to grab it before Dennis will punch him. We'll punch! Dennis has the man pinned to the floor, but isn't strong enough to keep him down. As I fall to the floor to help, the barrel of the rifle swings right into my face, a reminder of how close I'd come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard, stiff punch to the man's face. I didn't punch someone often, never really. I'm not used really the brawling type. Still, it's apparently effective. The man's head snaps back hard and his grip on the gun loosens. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded in pain. Our attackers immobilized and can feel a shift in the situation. Yes, although he is basically harmless now, I feel the need to pummel him, the desire that builds up every second I listen to him. Keep punching him, dude. We're going in. You keep hitting the man after he's down. I'm not sure where the anger comes from. It's probably been buried under the panic and exhaustion, but it comes out in a series of punches, my fists flying as I kneel over him, my right hand smashed into his nose, drawing blood. My left clips the lower lip, busting it. Roger, Dennis yells. What are you doing? He's defenseless now. Somewhere in the flurry of punches, I bust open his right eyebrow. It's not until I see the multiple trails of crimson flowing down and trickling down his face that I finally stop. Oh, jeez. I look to my fists as if I'd never seen them before. I'm slightly embarrassed that I'm unable to stop myself. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me, and I take it with shaking hands. I can't believe you stepped between me and that gun. Dennis says, he could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, I say, although I had no such thing. Still, thanks, man. That was some heroic stuff. You would have done the same, right? Dennis said nothing. His eyes looked to the floor. I don't think you needed to keep hitting him like that, Dennis says, some trembling in his voice. I don't say anything. He's probably right, but it was too much of a risk. What do we do now, boss? Dennis asks. We've come this far and I want answers, and I sense that Dennis does too. I walk over and pick my hard hat off the floor. After placing it onto my head, I turn towards the man. We get answers from this guy. No answers, the man answers. No answers, the man managed to whisper, his eyes fluttering. Blood is all over his face and neck from where I let loose on him. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. We've come this far, and I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hall until we come to it, and a single elevator waits us. It's still... that guy's so going to come back and kill me. Before I get into the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. Oh, so I took him with us. I can tell it's making him uncomfortable for me to have the gun. What's your name, I asked. Marcus. And you work here? It's clear that he doesn't want to answer, but he gives a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where they might be, I asked. No, he said curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful info we can get out of this guy. I just need to know how to dig for it. I need a first aid kit for my friend here, I say. Where might I find one? Down on the second floor, he says, but we can't go down there. We're going down there, okay? I'ma say this just in hopes it scares him into telling me what's down there. We're going down there, okay? He looks at me like I'm an idiot. You must be aware you're inside of a classified government facility, he says. It makes sense, but I want to doubt it. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm the president, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't, he says. You don't have clearance. Hell, I barely have clearance. Then, seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make this place run, and not even a thank you. Just a bunch of restricted access rooms that I'm only allowed to go in with a friggin' chaperone. I interrupt his monologue. We're going to that first aid kit. I could lose my job, he says, squinting through the blood where I'd bashed him over and over. I wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get into for hitting a government employee, especially as hard as I did. Then again, he had come at us with a rifle, and it makes me think that things have gone terribly wrong in this place. And the explosion in the woods, or whatever the hell had happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the second floor, but I'm not sure if it would be more productive to threaten him or ask for sympathy. We're gonna be nice now. Good cop, bad cop. Ask for help. Oh, you can scroll through, huh? Look, I say, it hasn't been the best day. We're just trying to find out what's going on, to find our crew to survive. I know that this isn't a normal situation down here. It looks like all your protocols have been blown to hell. Can't you help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay, he says. Thank you, I say. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad by the door. So he punches in a numerical code on the keypad. We can hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. After a few seconds of angry glances and frightened sneers from Marcus, the elevator arrives. The steel doors open with a whisper, revealing the interior. It's exceptionally well lit and looks to be made of stainless steel. I half expect the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad on the front right panel by the door with the options for three sub-level floors. Looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. So, after we get a first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here, I ask. We cannot leave. Once the power came back on, the whole place was put on lockdown. What? Can't you override it? No. It's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks as deflated as Dennis. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls out the floor. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls onto the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. I can see that much in his face. Slowly, we start to move down. The hum grind of the car's motor fill the space. What can you do? So, are we stuck here forever? Marcus scowls at me. I think it's a fair question. It doesn't seem unreasonable to assume he wouldn't be able to get us out. We will find somebody with the access codes, and they'll be begging me to figure out how to lift the lockdown. There's people... These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them can barely turn on their computers without help. That's weird. The top coder in my class at MIT. The top coder in my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground helping idiots who don't even trust me with the keys. How big is this place? What goes on here? Marcus shakes his head. You may as well shoot me. I can't tell you. Why not? It's classified. It's beyond classified, and things I know don't even cover the start of it. Well, what does that mean? I ask, starting to get irritated. It means that even if I wanted to tell you what sort of work is done here, I don't know enough to tell you about it. How big is this place? What's your job? I know he's like a janitor. It's a government facility of the highest secrecy, a research facility. It goes 4 stories underground, and quite frankly, it scares the piss out of me that you two got in here so easily. Why is that? This is a Black Ops graveyard, he says. Even the CIA doesn't know this place exists. What knocked the lights out? Seems like some sort of power outage, that's all I know. There was an outage, and then what? Dennis asks weakly. Then things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how? The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors when it happened, and everything went dead. It took me no more than a minute or so right before I started hearing the screams. People were being killed by something. I tried getting the security cameras going again, but they only lasted for a little bit on my backup system. But what I saw... What? I asked, feeling a sharp fear worm over me. What I ask, feeling a sharp fear worm its way into my gut. Well, what I saw on the screen for that little bit of time made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. I think whatever it is, it's still down here. Hold on, I say. There's an emergency vault with a rifle in the same room as the security camera in this place. Marcus gives me a grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place just in case, you know? In case of what? So we're still in danger here, just in case of what? As he opens his mouth to answer, the elevator comes to a stop and the doors slide open. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exit and heads directly for a glassed-in room that is filled with computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I file out behind him, trying to keep up, and as we do, one very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps loaded guns and emergency vaults in every single room? Well, that's the end of Chapter 2. Spicy stuff, guys. Be sure to bite the like button and subscribe for future videos. Go ahead and watch the first one if you haven't already. Thank you, guys.